This is Group F. I have to count through numbers, the letters, in order to get to where we are. Okay, so it's Group F, and today we've got, I guess, some really cool games coming up. I think the biggest thing for me is that after yesterday, we got a chance to watch a really cool concept race picking in Brood War. We had Kenzie advance first out of his group. And now here in this next group, we also have a race picker in Napoleon. So it's actually just kind of cool to see that style because you don't get a chance to see it very often. I think some people just function better in some matchups.
Yeah, and we also have Dragon, who's a race picker. He plays Protoss versus Terran, Protoss versus Zerg, and Zerg versus Protoss. Well, so we got a fiesta of Protoss versus Zerg and Zerg versus Protoss most likely. I think if Napoleon ends up going against Bakuryu, that'll be the only Terran versus Zerg we get because Napoleon race picking Terran versus Zerg. So it's going to be an interesting group.
Yeah, we also have Dewalt, my man. Training out here in South Korea. I think he'll be out here for maybe another month or so, but he's already been here for like a month. This guy is like 2400 MMR on the Korean server. He's like beating like actual pro gamers and stuff. He's practicing and streaming for, I don't know, so many hours. It's like he's like, yeah, I'll just go to Korea and I'll just play like just a lot, just all the time. And it's actually so impressive to me to watch him both stream and practice. So many hours a day, so consistently. This guy's a monster. He's a machine. He's also a super nice guy. I got a chance to hang out with him last week, and he's just so nice. I was hanging out with him, and let's see, there's like Sharp, all the Korean players that went to the Moscow land and kind of met him there are all still super good friends down here in Korea. So he also did play in the KCM challenge on Trot's channel. If you got a chance to watch that, didn't go super well for him, but hey, he played in a South Korean offline tournament, and hopefully we'll see him to try to qualify for some more of those while he's out here in Korea. But for now, he's playing in BSL in a group that should still be pretty difficult, but one that I definitely favor Dewalt to advance from.
Yeah, I think everybody expects Dewalt to make it out of this group. Probably the clear favorite. Dragon also probably a favorite, but there could be some upsets. Napoleon and Bakuryu, definitely good players. But yeah, Dewalt is a monster. When I've played him on the ladder a few times, the first 10 minutes I always think like I'm in a good spot, and then I don't know what happens. I don't even feel like I play bad. It's more like he does more things correct than I do, and it ends up snowballing, and he just wins the game. He's amazing, but Dragon also phenomenal. I have the same thoughts when I play versus him. I don't necessarily feel like I play bad versus him. He just does more things right. So I think those two players definitely most likely to make it out, but there could be upsets for sure.
Yeah, and the only way to find out if there will be upsets is if we get into the games. So I hope you're ready. I'm ready to go with our first game. This is going to be on the map Benzene, and I guess we can actually just talk about the maps that are going to be coming up. It's starting off on Benzene. There's also Sylphid and In the Way of an Eddy as our final map pool. And I guess our first matchup is Dewalt versus Bakuryu. And I know that Bakuryu is very highly regarded. I think at one point he was going to come out to South Korea to train a little bit too. But I still think, Dewalt is maybe a clear favorite here. But I don't know what to expect. So let's see how it works out as we get into game number 1 on... Away we go. All right, let's try that again. All right, there we go. Away we go. All right, here we are. The map is Benzene, and in the upper right-hand corner, in the yellow, playing for Team BSL, this is Bakuryu.
And in the bottom left, we've got the big name Protoss. It is Dewalt. Yeah, so we are in agreement that Dewalt's probably the favorite in this matchup, but it is Benzene, and this is a pretty strong map for Zerg. I'm not sure if Bakuryu is a Zerg vs Protoss specialist, but this map definitely does favor the Zerg race. Yesterday we had a really sick game between Kenzie and Bobo. Kenzie having a lot of opportunities to just, if he had Reavers with his unit comp, hold a bunch of his bases. Hopefully, if it gets to that point, Dewalt does not have the same issues as Kenzie. But regardless, that game was really epic, and I'm curious what Dewalt's going to go for. Unlike Kenzie, this looks like it's going to be a Forge expand.
Yes, so Kenzie had this gateway expand style, and really stuck to that almost to a fault. But I think Forge expand is what I see out of most PvZ players right now. One downside is that I definitely see Protoss players lose to having too few cannons. We're in this age of the one cannon Protoss, man. It always makes me a little bit scared. So you're right. I think we are going to see that Forge come down. It's always kind of a mystery to me, the order in which Protoss players decide to build their units. It's like, well, I put down the pylon, and then the Nexus afterwards. I'm like, wait, why would you just build the Nexus? I don't know, but he's trying to get this Nexus down as quickly as possible, and I think that's what we're going to see next before the Forge or Cannon.
Well, this is unreal greed from Dewalt. He must have a lot of experience versus Bakuryu, because Bakuryu went for an overpool, and I'm not sure if the Lings will get there in time before the cannons get up. Remember, this is Benzene. It is a two-player map.
Yeah.
But the rush distance is surprisingly long, and because of that, if this was any other map, maybe Dewalt would have had to get this Forge up before the Nexus.
12 Nexus on a two-player map, like two-player maps, I think exist so that you can't just automatically do these sort of ultra economic openings. And I'm not sure either exactly what timing the Zerglings would hit, but what do you know? Once again, the greedy Protoss player is rewarded, Dewalt, and we are not going to see 6 speedlings run across the map as fast as they can.
Yeah, and I mean, this probe even sees that he stalled the Lings. To be honest, he could even cancel the cannon if he wanted, because he knows exactly where the Lings are. So Dewalt's getting away with murder here. He's going to be able to tech so fast. Bakuryu's going for bottom right. He wants to put his third hatchery there. And he does have a fast gas in his main, so it looks pretty standard from both players so far. I'm guessing that Bakuryu is probably going to go into the Spire play. We'll have to see if he's going to go mutas. Yesterday, Bobo built like 12 mutas, and how many Scourge? Like 30? We'll have to see if Bakuryu is going to pull out that style.
Oh, that style is like so strange. I'm glad we got a chance to see it. I just, if that is your oxygen, you will suffocate, because there's just not so much of that out there. But you're right. Everybody does bring their own style. Speaking of stylistically, one style that Bakuryu brings is he's traditionally a very low APM player. You can actually kind of see that on your screen right there. He's like 100 APM below Dewalt, and that's not necessarily as bad as it looks. A lot of people are just like, well, APM is skill, and I'm just, well, no, that's not what that number means. But it does definitely help when you are in some high micro situations. You were referencing Pablo's games yesterday. He was doing that sick muta micro. Kid's hitting 3+ 100 APM. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's where you need the APM, when you're microing these complex units in high pressure situations. So we'll see if Bakuryu can live up to it.
Yeah, so Lair is completing for Bakuryu. I don't see an Hydrogen anywhere, so it's most likely going to be Spire. There is the Spire, and there's the Stargate from Dewalt. Dewalt has kept this probe alive very long. He still is able to scout the main even. I think he's going to get back in there. He's also got a Citadel going at the same time. I don't think that Overlord saw it because it's a little behind the Stargate. So if Dewalt moves out with a fast Zealot timing, it's potentially going to catch Bakuryu off guard. Well, now that I'm looking at it, there's actually no Zealots out for Dewalt. We've seen a switch lately where there's not really a lot of 730 timings. They go into fast DT or fast Templar. So maybe that's what Dewalt's going for.
We're doing that Bisu build. I forget it. Wait, Does BSL have +1 Corsair weapons? It's been so long since he entered the military, I totally forgot what the exact build order is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get +1 weapon on your air,
Yeah.
but there is that Templar archive, so it is not going to be a bunch of Zealots. It is just going to be fast Templar or fast DT coming out for Dewalt.
I'm guessing we're going to try to see that Corsair DT style that I was kind of referencing. I would say that we did see this yesterday. I'm not used to seeing this for sure. Usually you see like a +1 Zealot legs and go, and then you hit with like, I don't know, 5 to 8 Zealots, try to kill a hatchery, and then if that doesn't work, you try to get High Templar up to push off the 5-hatch Hydra coming up. I think 5-hatch Hydra is definitely the meta slave way to play Pvs or ZV now, and that is what we see coming out of Bakuryu.
Yeah, and 5-hatch Hydra, it's just so strong. It's so standard. You're so safe. That's exactly what Bakuryu's going for, and I think Protosses are just having to switch it up. You can't just let Zerg know what's coming every single time, like, oh, 7:30 timing, I'm just going to build Hydras at 7 minutes and be safe. So I like this DT switch. The DT has gotten out. There's no Overlord at the natural, so he doesn't know it's coming, and I'm trying to find, is there any opening to get some kills? Looks like the natural is a potential spot of vulnerability for this DT. Might be able to slip by these Hydras. There's not that many they're defending currently.
Yep, I'm watching our dirty Cape boy run across the map. It does look like the Lings have pulled back. They sense a disturbance in the force. And it looks like, let's see where this DT goes down. Wow, actually just totally steers clear of the natural, maybe knowing it's too risky. But if he heads down here to this other base, I guess there are a lot of very vulnerable drones. Let's see, there's a couple of Hydras here. How many kills is DT gonna get? Can he survive? Barely. Wow. No justice in this world.
That was a nice reaction from Bakuryu. He knew that a DT was on the map somewhere. Instant pull, only losing 1 drone. That's not a big loss for him. But what is Dewalt's follow-up? He's got a couple Templar out already, slowly building up that energy. And now he's got 4 gateways out. So once he goes for an actual attack, even having only 2 Templars, they're probably going to have multiple storms. So the follow-up attack is going to be very deadly from Dewalt. He's even got 6 Zers, so they're going to be sharking around, trying to find any Overlords. Yesterday, Bobo getting supply blocked for eternity.
Whoa. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a tragedy. And that was actually only to 2 to 3 Corsairs. So it's not like it was a high Corsair number that dove in and killed all the Overlords. Actually, just not that many. These are +1 Corsairs as well, so they are definitely going to hit hard. There's 3 unprotected Overlords at the natural expansion, and it looks like, yeah, natural is probably where most of the Overlords are going to be. Of course, spreading them out so that DTs aren't super effective. But let's see how many kills these Corsairs can get. They've already gotten 1. Going to dive in and probably try to take out a second one. Yes, there it is.
Yes, so Bakuryu is really supply blocked at this point, 55 out of 45. This is pretty much what I'm talking about from Dewalt, is it's not necessarily Bakuryu's playing poorly, but Dewalt has already doubled him in supply. What happened? We're at 100 to 55 and he's moving out now. +1 is kicked in. There's 3 Templars now. They almost all have double storm potential. He's got 6 gate behind it. This could be a potentially killing blow for Dewalt.
Where is that's supposed to keep move outs like this from happening? Like, I feel like the Zerg needs to just have an ocean of Hydras and be putting, you know, it is pressure to deny the Protoss 3rd base, but instead it's Dewalt that's gonna go deny the Zerg 3rd base.
Yeah, and this is so many Zealots. How many is this? It's 12 Zealots. We don't have, okay, Bakuryu, he needs Sunkens, but there are none, so this is, I have a feeling this base is definitely dead. And this is half of his production. It's 3 hatches.
These Hydras are just going to evaporate. Look at these storms.
Oh, there's so many drones.
Oh no, a storm on the mineral line too. That's just adding insult to injury. There's 3 hatches down here, and it doesn't matter. Whatever hatches from the hatches is just gonna die.
Oh my god, the storm's killing so many Hydras and drones, and like I said, this is half the production from Bakuryu. I just noticed Bakuryu, the reason he doesn't have very many units, he's already at Hive Tech. But
wow,
unfortunately,
okay,
Dewalt's
really...
gonna kill him before that kicks in.
Yeah, you're right, he sure is. He was getting plus 1-1 actually at the same time.
Perma supply blocked.
That, wow. Damn. Okay, Walt, like, this is like that Simpsons, like, stop, he's already dead. Like, okay, wow, that was just, like, you ever watch Austin Powers? They're in the steamroller, and it moves comically slowly towards like the security guard, and then you just see this bump as the steamroller like goes over the guy. I'm like, well, that's unfortunately a little bit of a flattened Bakuryu there. Dewalt just really, I mean, that was just so dominant. Wow. I knew that Dewalt was going to be favored for this group, but I didn't know, you know.
Well, now you know. Dewalt's a beast. Like, he's just, like I said, it's just everything's normal, and then all of a sudden he just crushes. I don't understand. Like, it just always happens, and that's exactly what happened there. Literally, Bakuryu lost like 2 overlords, right? And that's really it, and 2 drones to a DT. Yet somehow Dewalt just demolished him. So Dewalt looking fantastic, and really I think that was probably Bakuryu's best map to get a win versus Dewalt. So it's going to be very difficult in the upcoming maps.
Yeah, that was a 2-player map, and that means that moving on, we're going to be getting into the next map, which is on Sylphid. There we go. Got it. So we've moved from a 2-player map to a 3-player map, and the last map is Eddie, so a 4-player map there. So we're going to increase the number of players until we find a number that beats Dewalt. I don't know if increasing that's going to do it, but that's the trend. But for Bakuryu, you know, man, I'm trying to think what he could have done differently. And I guess hit a faster Hydra timing to try to hold that off, or maybe put more pressure on, because it didn't really feel like Dewalt was under any pressure at any point.
Yeah, I mean, he could have put on some pressure, possibly, but Dewalt had the Templar so fast, I'm not sure if that really worked. Really, I think Bakuryu just needed to get some Sunkens up. He was powering so hard, he had such low unit count, that he needed to just play a little bit more defensive. We don't even know what his ultimate goal was, because Dewalt just went and killed him, but he had +1 armor and +1 melee for Lings, so it looked like he was going for some type of very strong Ling, possibly ultra play afterwards. But yeah, Dewalt just striking at the perfect time and not letting Bakuryu get to his Hive Tech.
Well, I'm just trying to think. I'm going to be going over that because it's kind of rare. You just see one player just like implode. If you guys watched ASL today, we saw a fantastic example of what it looks like to just watch a human being digitally die in front of your eye. I don't want to spoil that, but watch the 4th game. You'll be watching it for about 2.5 minutes. It sometimes is a tragedy. So let's hope that we can get a better game in game number 2 by moving on to Sylphid for our second game, Dewalt versus Bakuryu. And here we are, the map is Sylphid and spawning. In the 12 o'clock location, the Russian Protoss player, honorary Korean, while he's out here training in Korea. This is Dewalt.
And in the bottom right, we've got the red Zerg. It is Bakuryu. Yeah, so maybe Bakuryu was just playing a little bit nervous that game. Hopefully he can turn it around here, because that was nasty. I wonder what Dewalt is going to do this game. I mean, we also have to factor in that Dewalt did get away with murder. He went for 12 Nexus, no scouting. Bakuryu only built 2 Lings, so he really could just power insanely hard. He kept the probe alive the whole time. There's the scout coming out for Dewalt. I do like this more than last game. He's going to play a little bit safer, make sure he knows what's going on before he puts down that 12 Nexus.
Well, that's the other thing. Like 12 Nexus, 14 CC, whatever you want to do. 3 hatch before pool. Like these are the builds that are just, man, I feel like they are irresponsible. But if you are just a good enough player to get the scouting information you need and know that you can hold on to it, then they are certainly a great way to get an early economic advantage. Although, man, every time I see players like this season of ASL has been filled with players going for these economic openings and just straight up dying to players they have no business losing to. We had Snow eliminated from ASL because he went for a 12 Nexus. You have Light, the best TBZ player, eliminated because he did 2 14 CCs against players he was clearly better than. And I'm just like, when does it stop? When does it stop? I don't know, but at least we're going to have a little bit more of a responsible expand with the Forge coming down before the Nexus.
Yeah, and that's just the trend these days, is people want to get their macro going as powerful as possible because everybody can macro so well. So you need to find these little advantages. And I remember the Light games. I was like, dude, what are we doing? We're being so crazy greedy here. Even losing to like a 2-hatch Hydra Lurker. Oh my gosh, that was depressing to watch as a Terran player. But what is Bakuryu going for this game? He's got, it looks pretty much identical. He's got the fast gas. He's going to put down a 3rd hatch. Dewalt, a little safer this time. It's Forge with cannon before the Nexus. Curious to see what he goes for. There's the gate. I have a feeling, just like yesterday, we saw players continuing to do the same build over and over every time it works. So don't fix what's not broken. I expect to see the same build from Dewalt that we just saw.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't see +1 Corsair or DT all that often. In the last game, the DT got like a drone kill, right? So it's not excessively strong, but if you do hit with the right timing, this from Corsairs early, so don't know exactly, like I said, what to expect. Hatch is just now popping here, so we're going to start to see what the play is, and it looks like it is going to be a 3-hatch lair timing. Lair morphed right in that probe's face.
Yeah, probe sees exactly what's going on. I mean, he could pretty much assume what's going on without even seeing the lair. He saw the gas. Of course, Zergs do have the chance to go for 3-hatch Hydra, but I'm not sure if that's really that's that often with that fast gas. But regardless, Dewalt sees it. The probe is still alive, and I have to point out, last game, Bakuryu did not get fast speed. His speed still seems pretty slow. I think maybe it kicks in around 430. So Dewalt's going to have this probe alive scouting for a long, long time.
Yeah, he's pushed the probe out for now, but I mean, you can literally just turn around and walk back in. There's zero things stopping you from doing that. Maybe these 2 idle probes at the entrance will take or drones at the entrance will take the probe out. I don't know, but Overlord should be pretty well informed, seeing the Stargate go down, and know that it's nothing, super crazy trying to, skip that tech. And yeah, everything actually just looks pretty standard aside from that slightly slower speed that you were talking about. But Spire all on the way down, and I'm curious to see. We actually did get a Muta ZVP once yesterday, and I always wonder what those look like. But with only one guest, it's just gonna keep looking very standard.
Yep, and there is the fast Citadel along with fast Stargate. Now this Citadel is a little bit slower than last game, so it's more likely to be Zealots this time as opposed to DT. We also see Dewalt with 3 Zealots, or at least 3 Zealots coming out pretty soon compared to the 1 that he had last game. So we'll be looking to see that 730 timing possibly. The +1 looks like it's about 25% done, so that's going to line up almost perfectly at the 730 mark. And like I said, 5-hatch Hydra is so common that I feel like Bakuryu will probably be more ready for this attack because it's such a more standard timing.
If he even gets to attack. I mean, I saw the 5 hatches go up kind of around this time in game number 1, and Walt's like, no, this is when I kill you. and he just goes right into the belly of the beast and kills him. So, no. I'm interested to find out what the actual like plan is. So this time we are going to stop before the Templar archives and just go for lead. So those are coming up right now, and this is going to look a little bit different. So I like the finesse here from Dewalt. It's clear that he does have a lot of very refined builds from his time, just really grinding and grinding and grinding. And I know he's actually gotten some like coaching one-on-one help from some of the Protoss players out here in Korea. A lot of amateur players that he's kind of become connected with out here. So hopefully he can like, this is an illustration of some of the things that he's been practicing. Because it does look like he really favors pretty heavy Corsair style. We'll see what he wants to go for once this +1 finishes.
Yeah, so Dewalt's setting up for attack, but I'm looking at the lair of Bakuryu. Speed for the Overlords is about halfway done. That makes me think that an attack will be coming pretty soon. He's even got +1 range attack coming in for the Hydras. So he'll play defensive on this initial attack coming in from Dewalt right now. But after that, I expect him to put on a lot of pressure. And the gateway count is really low for Dewalt. So if Bakuryu can counterattack maybe within even 1 minute, there's really not a lot of production to help stop the Hydras. But here comes Dewalt. Great SimCity with the Hydras and Lings. Dewalt's not going to be able to get in here and deal any damage.
That was a little bit of an anti-timing. He hit right before +1 finished. And I think he also recognized that, like, even with +1, your stuff's going to die pretty quickly with that SimCity and Hydra. So he's going to try to hit the other side of the map even more well defended. All of a sudden, Dewalt's just been totally pushed back. And you're right, with a low gateway count, that's all the Zealots you get.
Yeah, this is why I think we see a lot more Templar Tech DT play, even Reaver sometimes, because you see how solid Bakuryu is at this 7:30 timing. He just shut it down so easily. And now Bakuryu will be able to put on the pressure. But these Sayers, they've got +1 weapon. There's 5 Sayers going to be killing his Overlords very easily. And already Bakuryu's supply blocked. I'm trying to check, does he have any Overlords producing? Does not look like it. So if he wanted to go for some type of a counterattack, that's kind of out the window right now.
Yep. Supply Bakuryu. There we go. He's not... yeah, not protecting the Overlords. They're going to be an endangered species here. He did get Overlord speed, so, that's theoretically a great way to deal with +1 Corsairs. Just kind of run away. It's a little bit comical. We're just watching the poor endangered Overlords try to survive against the mean old Corsair hunters trying to skin them for their pelts. I don't know. I think the rest of the Overlords should actually be pretty safe, but my confusion, I think, yeah, you pointed this out earlier, Nyoken, is like what do you do with Gateway Protoss versus, 5-hatch Hydra? Well, yeah, you need a couple more gates, so those are just finishing warping in.
Yeah, he's got 6 gates now. I have to say that this robotics seems pretty fast, maybe about a minute faster than usual. We could potentially see some type of big attack combined with Reaver. But as I say that, Dewalt's taking a 3rd base, and I find this pretty surprising because his Zealot attack did nothing. He really only killed 1 Overlord, and he's so vulnerable. Look at what he has to defend this 3rd base. You have 1 Templar and 5 Zealots. Bakuryu's got so many Hydras.
I hope you guys are watching the mini-map. These Corsairs flew back to kill the Overlord, and every Hydra on the map turned around to try to stop them. This is delaying the push against this very vulnerable 3rd base. It's not even a high ground 3rd base. You can just walk up there. And so that was really impressive. These Corsairs buying so much time to get this army in position, to get the energies juicing up on these High Templars. But now finally, the 5-hatch Hydra is going to come to bear. There's 7 Overlords being built at a time, so we're going to see a big swell behind this. And let's see how well this defense goes. Big storms. Not that many dead Hydras.
Yeah, but look at the effect this supply block had on Bakuryu. He had 1,200 minerals, 800 gas, just now spending it. That could have been like almost 20 Hydras in this army, and really, there's no more storms available. 20 more Hydras with this current army would just massacre these Zealots.
Totally. He built 7 Overlords at a time. You know what you can do with 700 minerals? Like, just a lot. Many things. Unfortunately, Overlords do none of those things. So, well, I don't know. He did try to hit the third. It didn't work. And so now you find a Zerg player with a whole bunch of Nomad Hydras. Where do they go?
Well, he has picked off the majority of the Corsairs, so he does not have to worry about them as much anymore. Yep. But supplies for Dewalt are getting scarily high. He's got more gates. Bakuryu's keeping up, though. He's got 100 supply. He's got Hive Tech going. He's got 8 hatches, even taking his 4th base. So his macro's kicking in really nicely. But I am worried that, geez, how many Zealots is this? We have like, holy moly, we have like 30 Zealots almost. And just now Dewalt's getting in those crucial 15 to 20 Dragoons. How on earth is Bakuryu going to stop this army? Does he even have the Lurker upgrade? We don't see any Lurkers on the map.
Yeah, these are +2 Zealots, by the way. So, like, also +3 on the ways. Just Gateway Man at his finest. And I mean, there are Lurkers out, so, you know, it's not like the Zealots are totally immortal. And, oh, wow, he actually just sniped all of the Observers. That's a great way to make your Lurkers effective.
Yeah, popping all the Observers, and also he had a nice split on his Hydra, so dodged all of the storms. And look at supplies now; it's basically completely even. To Bakuryu even taking a 5th base, 5 base Zerg versus 3 base Protoss with Hive Tech with double evolution chamber. That's extremely scary. And this big Han Bong attack that Dewalt's going for, if he waits even just a minute or so, we could have Dark Swarm, and that attack's gonna go. I don't think that attack's going to work very much longer.
Adrenal as well, about, I don't know, 3/4 or 1/3 of the way done. And I think we all know what Adrenalings do. Those things are so nasty. So look at what Bakuryu is doing. He's spreading his forces in this huge arc. And I think that might just overwhelm what Dewalt has moving across the map. This is it's a very scary time to be Protoss. So Dewalt realizes that he's going to try to pull back maybe just a little bit. Gotta get some more Observers out there. Yeah,
and these storms are really not hitting very many units. They hit like 2 Lurkers there, but there's still about 10 behind it. Bakuryu also has insanely good upgrades. He's already got 2-1. He's ahead of the upgrades for Protoss. And this is Sylphid, so if you want to fight, you're going to be out in the middle of the map. The possibility of Bakuryu hitting from every angle is very real. And with Adrenaline and highly upgraded Hydras like this Protoss army could definitely melt. And
well,
Bakuryu even finding top left. Yeah, he's gonna deny it.
Yeah, this is a pretty guaranteed cancel. Just walk right up and yeah, boom goes the dynamite. You can even morph a Lurker Egg on the ramp. That's the classy strat. Just to stop all these units from getting up there.
Looks like there may not be a cancel. Dewalt's going to send his whole army up there to make sure that it doesn't go down.
Wow.
What's Bakuryu going to do? Is he going to attack at the same time? No, it looks like he's just going to continue to macro. Supplies are so close. I'm trying to find the Defiler Mound.
I'm not wrong in saying he could have just morphed the Lurker Egg and focused the Nexus down, right?
Yeah, he could have done that, but he decided that he wanted to just trade army for some reason. I mean, either way, it's an okay trade. It's not like Dewalt is going to get this base for free. It's still going to be hard for him to defend, so I don't mind him trading. But yeah, I personally would have preferred the Lurker. It would have been a guaranteed kill on the Nexus. But Bakuryu has so many links, so many Hydras.
Yeah, this is kind of a strange moment to see a Protoss player who really hasn't been tested at all still be super scared because the Zerg has just outgrown him. And Bakuryu's macro is like actually really kicking it into high gear here. This is a Zerg player with 5 bases and he's hitting 0 minerals. Like he's just pumping out massive amounts of units. We got so many links out on the maps and they're spread in such a way that if Dewalt pushes out anywhere, he's just gonna get wrapped up like a birthday present.
Yeah, and look, Dewalt's going to attack up this high ground. I don't know about this because the flood of Zerg can come from all angles, attacking into Lurkers in a funnel. But now also Bakuryu is coming up from the high ground, or from the low ground to the high ground, and he'll get funneled. There's a lot of Templar here. I don't know about this. This seems like not the greatest angle for Bakuryu to be attacking into.
Yeah, the storm numbers are also kind of dwindling. He does have a couple more, and those are really good storms. Maybe you need another one. Gotta watch out for these observers. They are in a very vulnerable spot. If they go down, lurkers could absolutely destroy this army. Most of the zealots are also dead here, so it's just gonna be dragoons against cracklings and these hydras coming up. So we are starting to witness this Protoss army thin out. It does push in. It kills, you know, the first wave of defenses. Now it's going to have to run back, and he might actually, oh yeah, loses every single High Templar in that previous army. But he's getting a lot more where that comes from.
Yeah, a huge reinforcement army coming in, about 10 Zealots, 6 Templar, but they gotta not get picked off. First one going down, second
no! Storm! Storm anything! Okay, there we go.
But Bakuryu just has so much production. I don't think Dewalt can keep pushing here. Sure, it looks like he's breaking through right now, but here comes those Defilers. There's so many Lings, so many Hydras coming out from Bakuryu. But he needs to save this base because it's going to be 4 base Zerg versus 4 base Protoss.
And Dewalt
break through.
Oh, it's so close. These are +3 Zealots. They're killing a lot. They also have 1 armor, but the idea is that this base is not the only one, right? There's so many bases, so many hatcheries, mass-producing Lings. He's just shoving them out, cramming them down this Protoss army, and I mean, I guess this base is going to go down, but the army for Dewalt is so precious at this point. He's only working off 8 gates.
It's Bakuryu losing his 5th base, and that's a big loss for him because now we're even bases. But he still has so much army. I'm trying to check his upgrades. +3 is about to kick in for him. If the Wald can save this army, he's going to be in a fantastic position. It looks like he will save it. But where does Bakuryu go from here? It seems like Dewalt's got map control at this point. I don't think Bakuryu can take the left side of the map. There's already Zealots in position over there to deny bases. Dewalt even hasn't even taken the mineral only at the right side, so he potentially has a 5th base for free. We've got Mass DT coming out for Dewalt. Wonder if he's going to morph these into Dark Archons and go for potentially some Maelstrom play.
Ooh, that would actually be really sexy. I don't know. I feel like if you're a Dark Archon user, you're one of the Edgelord Protosses. You're just like, well, I'm gonna use this unit. All the other Protosses are like trying to like win in like normal Protoss ways, and you're just like, well, I just need to be like extra controversial. And actually, we did see a little bit of Dark Archon play today in ASL. It got 1 feedback off, and then we just left it there. Like, okay, well, you know, I don't know if that's necessarily worth it, but in the end, yeah, I think the big moment for Dewalt is not going to come from like cute Dark Archon plays, but rather from really good positioning. I feel like if he can get great storms off on some of these clumped lurkers, roll that over, then finally you put like a big dent in the. Oh no! Oh, is he killing the lurkers fast enough? Barely, maybe? They're not all dead.
I think he killed enough lurkers for that to be very cost efficient. He didn't really even lose that many Zealots. Sure, the Zealots are softened up now, but lurkers so expensive. And there goes that 5th base for Dewalt. He's really snowballing very hard now. Bakuryu doesn't have any place to take a 5th base. I feel like Dewalt's just got a stranglehold on this game at this point.
Yeah, and DT is also really helping clear that army up, although thankfully the Overlords are coming in and making them a little bit less effective. But yeah, it might all be about this 5th base for Dewalt. If he can hold here, he'll be in a great spot.
Well, Dewalt losing all of his Templars, but we see he's already got 5 more at his natural, banking up that energy. Already almost has double storm available. Supplies are pretty in favor of Dewalt at this point. To be up 30 supply ahead in bases, it's be tough for Bakuryu to come back. When he built so many lurkers, it really looked like he was going to be going into that defensive posture, but to lose them all, now it feels like he's on the clock, and I think he feels obligated to get something done. He's going to go attack top right. There's only 4 cannons. He could potentially shut down this base pretty easily.
Yep, Bakuryu doing a great job kind of finding weak spots to hit. He does need to add some defilers in maybe to try to break these huge cannon walls. Do we actually have Reavers out yet? I thought I saw one, but I guess I'm mistaken. Yeah, no Reavers just yet, and I think we might be starting to get towards that time. Looks like he does have Infinity Storm here, so he can just storm the cracklings as they run in. But eventually, that's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, so Dewalt cleaned that up pretty easily. Now he's up 40 supply. Oh, we just had a massive storm drop at bottom left, wiping out almost all the drones. And even another storm drop at the third base.
Ooh, so good. And even the Zealot just clearing the rest of it up. I think this might finally be the big nail in the coffin. When you kill that many drones, it even has an arc morph that's from the storm drop that's continuing to deal damage. Massive storms killing off all the cracklings. I think Dewalt is really starting to snowball out of control.
Yeah, most likely he's going to trigger some type of all-in from Bakuryu. He does have a decent bank where he could potentially try and spam lurkers, but I have a feeling Dewalt won't let that happen. He'll strike before he can get any good positioning. What do you do as Bakuryu? I really do feel like he's going to go for some type of all-in, but as I say that, drone is going to 5th base on the left side of the map. Looks like he does want to go for split map if he can secure the left side.
Yeah, that is a good reaction to say, okay, I'll just hold a bunch more bases, turtle up, and then get to that late game economy, and hope that that's good enough. I mean, Bakuryu is not that bad on upgrades. He's 3-2 right, or 2-3, 2 weapons, 3 carapace. He's trying to plague the Protoss army, and I guess that's one good way to get back up. He's not really storming, and he's not really stopping Dewalt from moving across the map, though.
Yeah, Dewalt's just building up that super army. We see 3 Archons already in his army. He's got 2 more morphing at his natural. He's got so many Templars just coming out nonstop that he can build even more. Oh, there's the mass lurker spam, but storms aren't directly on top of 5 or 6 of them. They're all going to go down, and I think Dewalt's just going to bust through here.
Oh yeah, these storms are monstrous. Dewalt just crushes this army, and now he's almost doubling up Bakuryu in supply. Yeah, big push here by Dewalt. Not enough to stand in the way. Dewalt is really finally kind of broken the back of the Zerg army.
Yeah, supplies are being doubled for Dewalt now. It's just a matter of time before Bakuryu taps out. There's just not enough for him. He's got amazing upgrades. He's got units coming from all directions, but these Archons are so strong at this point. They can start one-shotting Lings. And Dewalt just has so much production behind it. And look at his minerals. He's consistently low on resources. He's macroing like a god. He's got 5 base. He's taking a 6 base. Bakuryu just cannot get another base.
Yeah, what a legend. Dewalt's just killing everything. Even actually now expanding to the 3 o'clock location. So he's going to have another base up. And Bakuryu realistically only has like, 2.5, 3 mining bases. So he's really feeling the pressure. He's watching these Archons kill every Zergling. It's, yep, that's the way the game's going. And he's just going to roll through this natural expansion. Despite the massive flood of Lings coming.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Bakuryu is going to be going into the losers match. He looked really strong this game. The first game was a little off, but he looked formidable here. Unfortunately, he's going up probably, top 2, 3 foreigners. So it's going to be difficult to take out Dewalt, but he did look pretty impressive.
Yeah, really, really well played there by Dewalt. Bakuryu, aside from game 1 and just kind of rolling over there, game 2 looked very, very good. Dewalt just looked very, very more better.
Yes, that's also my experience versus Dewalt. You're just better. It's not necessarily I played bad. You're just better, and that's exactly what happened to Bakuryu there. He had 8 hatch. He had faster upgrades. Everything was going well for him. And literally just once he lost that 5th base, it just snowballed. I don't even know. I thought he traded pretty well at the 5th base, but
yeah,
I don't know. It just always happens versus Dewalt.
Yeah, it's the Dewalt effect. All right. Well, we talked about how Dewalt might be favored to get out of this group. Well, there's a few other favorite players there as well. I'd say Dragon, Canadian Protoss player, super strong. He is going to be going up against the Finnish player, Napoleon. He does do a little bit of race picking, so we'll find out what he is playing when we get into our next match coming up, so don't go anywhere. There's plenty more BSL Season 6 coming up next.